I'm sorry I don't look like much, but I brought you something that matters more than appearances." The words fell softly from Brenna Ashford's lips as she stood in the doorway of the Meridian Lounge, holding a small wrapped package tied with twine. At 24, she looked like someone the world had forgotten. Her coat was thin and patched, her jeans worn pale at the knees, her boots scuffed beyond repair. But her eyes held something the polished crowd around her had lost: clarity, purpose, truth. She'd almost canceled this blind date. Her college roommate had set it up, insisting she needed one evening away from the shelter. Brenna had tried to explain she couldn't afford to look the part. Her friend had said, "Then don't, just be yourself." So here she was, herself, all of it. Across the elegant space, 33-year-old CEO Kellen Thorne sat with his back to the window, his presence commanding without effort. His company had just revolutionized sustainable technology, making him both wealthy and wanted. He could have been anywhere. Instead, his sister had convinced him to meet someone real for once. He was expecting another performance, another woman who'd researched his net worth before choosing her dress. Then he saw Brenna. The maitre d' was already moving to intercept her, clearly assuming she'd wandered into the wrong establishment. But Kellen stood, something stirring in his chest, a recognition he couldn't name. "Brenna?" He crossed the room in long strides. She nodded, clutching the small package tighter. "I know I don't look like I belong here. I almost didn't come. But I wanted to meet you, and I didn't want to pretend to be someone I'm not." "Then we're already ahead of most first dates." His smile was genuine, disarming. "I'm Kellen, and I'm grateful you came." He led her to his table, ignoring the stares, the whispers. When she sat, she carefully placed the wrapped package between them. "I made you something," she said quietly. "I know that's probably strange for a first meeting, but I don't have much to offer except what I can create with my hands." What Kellen didn't know was that Brenna spent her days as an art therapist at a homeless shelter, helping broken people rebuild their sense of worth through beauty they created themselves. "May I?" he asked, gesturing to the package. She nodded, nervous. Inside was a small hand-carved wooden box, simple but exquisite. The grain of the wood had been honored, not hidden. On the lid was a single carved word: enough. Kellen's throat tightened. He ran his fingers over the word, feeling the care in every curve. "I work with people who've been told their whole lives they're not enough, not smart enough, not clean enough, not worthy enough. So I teach them to carve this word, to hold it, to remember." She paused, meeting his eyes. "Your sister told me you work yourself to exhaustion, that you're always trying to prove something. I thought maybe you needed the reminder too." Kellen couldn't speak for a moment. His eyes stung. "How did you know?" he asked. "That I wake up every morning afraid that everything I've built will reveal I'm still the kid who wasn't enough, who got rejected from every college he applied to because he couldn't afford the application fees that proved he was serious?" Brenna's expression softened with understanding. "Because people who have nothing often see what people who have everything are hiding." The evening unfolded like a quiet revolution. Kellen asked about her work, and Brenna spoke of the men who wept while painting sunsets they'd forgotten existed, the woman who sculpted her daughter's face from memory because she'd lost custody, the teenagers who carved chess pieces because it gave them control over something, finally. "You're teaching them they still matter," Kellen said, his admiration undisguised. "I'm teaching them what someone once taught me," Brenna said, "that your value isn't determined by your circumstances, it's determined by what you choose to do within them." "Who taught you that?" Brenna's eyes glistened. "My father. He was a carpenter. We never had money, but he'd create these beautiful pieces and give them to people who needed them. He'd say, 'Brenna, wealth isn't what you keep, it's what you give that nobody can repay.' He died when I was 19, left me nothing but his tools and that lesson." She gestured at herself, self-conscious. "I know I look like I failed at life. Most people see someone who couldn't make it. but I see someone choosing to spend her time with people everyone else ignores. That's the wealth my father taught me to measure." Kellen felt something shift fundamentally inside him. "I've spent 15 years building an empire to prove I wasn't the failure everyone predicted, and you're telling me I've been measuring success by the wrong metrics entirely." "I'm saying," Brenna chose her words carefully, "that the most successful people I know sleep in sleeping bags and share their last meal because they've figured out that being rich in spirit is the only kind of wealth you carry with you when everything else is stripped away." Over the following months, Kellen and Brenna built something neither expected. Not a fairy tale, not rescue, but partnership. Kellen started volunteering at the shelter where Brenna worked. Not for publicity, his assistant didn't even know. Just showing up on Thursday evenings to help hang artwork, to listen to stories, to learn that influence isn't about corner offices, but about presence. Brenna didn't let him solve her financial struggles with a checkbook, but she let him into her world. When her apartment's heat failed in February, Kellen helped her find a better place, and she insisted on a payment plan, even when he said it was unnecessary. "It's necessary for me," she said firmly. "I don't need a savior, Kellen. I need a partner who sees me as an equal, even when our bank accounts aren't." "Then let me tell you what I see." He took her hands gently. "I see someone who owns nothing, but gives everything. Someone who measures wealth in kindness and invests in human dignity. Someone who's teaching me that I've been chasing the wrong kind of success my entire life." The transformation came during a crisis. Kellen's company faced a hostile takeover. The stress was crushing. 18-hour days, impossible decisions, his entire legacy at risk. He stopped sleeping, stopped eating properly. One night, Brenna found him in his office at 3 a.m., surrounded by reports, his eyes hollow. "What are you doing here?" he asked, exhausted. "Your sister called. She's worried." Brenna sat beside him, not across from him. "Kellen, when was the last time you remembered why you started this company?" "To prove I wasn't a failure." "No!" Her voice was gentle but firm. "Your first product was a water purification system for communities without clean water. You started this to help people. When did it become about proving something instead?" Kellen's carefully constructed walls crumbled. "I'm terrified that if I lose this company, I'll become invisible again. That I'll be that kid everyone overlooked." Brenna cupped his face, her eyes fierce with tenderness. "Listen to me. You're not invisible. You never were. The people who overlooked you were blind. That's their failure, not yours. And if you lose every dollar tomorrow, you'll still be the man who volunteers at a shelter every Thursday, the man who learned to carve boxes that say enough, the man who's teaching me that success and worth aren't the same thing." Her voice broke. "You're already enough, Kellen. You always were." He pulled her close and let himself break, let himself be held. Let himself be seen, not as a CEO, but as a human being who'd been running from unworthiness his entire life. The story doesn't end with a wedding. Not yet. It ends 9 months later at the opening of a new community arts center, funded by Kellen's foundation, designed around Brenna's vision. A space where people experiencing homelessness can create, heal, and remember their value. Kellen and Brenna stand together, watching a young man present his first sculpture to his mother, a gift carved from hope, not money. Brenna leans into Kellen's shoulder. "Do you remember what I said that first night? That I didn't look like much but brought something that mattered?" "I remember every word." "Did you really see me that night, with my worn-out clothes and nothing to offer but a handmade box?" Kellen turns to face her, his expression tender and absolutely certain. I saw everything I'd spent my whole life looking for. Someone who understood that the most valuable things can't be bought or built or balanced in spreadsheets. You walked in with nothing in your pockets but everything in your hands. You gave me that box and you gave me the truth that I was already enough. You didn't see a CEO. You saw me. And that's when I knew I'd found the kind of wealth that actually matters. Brenna's eyes fill with grateful tears. We're building something beautiful, aren't we? We're building something true, he whispers, and that's worth more than everything I ever thought I wanted. In the golden evening light, two people stand together. Proof that the greatest gifts come not enwrapped in expensive paper, but carried in open hands by those brave enough to give what cannot be purchased. Presence, truth, and the radical kindness of seeing another person's worth when the world has taught them they have none. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, subscribe, and comment.